Welcome back to the Lingua Loom. Today we're going to start another episode of the syntax series, semantic series, which is lexical relations. Well, we covered a lot of syntax topics that's why it's always on tongue. So this topic, why we're starting it? Well, because before starting synonyms, antonym brief in detail videos on them, I thought it is better to just cover this topic first. So let's start. This is the topic, which is lexical relation. So every word in your mind is connected to hundreds of others. This episode maps all different types of lexical relation to present a complete framework for understanding how words relate to each other in meaning. So it is about relationship of words. Lexical means words, so it is words relations. Like theta, which is semantic role or thematic role, as they're important. Lexical relations are important topic of semantics too. So let's start with it. Before starting, please do like, subscribe and share, and do comment too, as your comment means a lot. People just only watch and don't comment. It would be helpful if you do comments too. Thank you for it. So let's start with your mental lexicon is not a list, it's a web. So yes, that's it. Words are not stored in isolation in the brain. They are stored in networks connected to each and every word they relate to in meaning. So psycholinguistic priming. This one. Priming experiments confirm this. Activate one word and related words fire automatically within milliseconds. Lexical relations are the type of meaning connection that hold words together. This episode gives you a complete taxonomy, all 12 major relations, so you can understand it. It's brief discussion before starting detailed discussion of every single one of lexical relations. So, first part is words in relation. A lexical relation is a systematic, sense-based connection between two or more words. These are paradigmatic relations. They hold between words that could occupy the same slot in a sentence. They're not random associated. They're structured, well-governed, and exploited constantly in comprehension, production, writing, and creative language use. So these words in our brain, as we have discussed this in previous videos and concluded that language is structured, it is not something arbitrary or something that is random. It follows a structure. So words in our mind, they follow structure too, as they're the basis to use language. Without words, we have nothing. So lexicon is important. So the study of lexical relations provides the theoretical toolkit for lexical semantics. Synonyms, antonyms, hyponymy, meronymy, homonymy, polysemy, and beyond all are the types of lexical relation, each with its own structure, diagnostics, and linguistic implications. So this episode is about them. So is it lexical, which is sense relations or paradigmatic semantic connections between lexical items based on their meaning. They form the structural backbone of the mental lexicon, giving each word its semantic value through its contrast and connection with other words. So you can use it as a definition too. Let's start with this. I scroll. Synonymy. So this is it. Synonymy, sameness of meaning. Two or more words that share the same or similar meaning, they are synonyms. So, synonym is the relation of semantic overlap. So synonymy is relation, and when two words are same or similar to each other in meaning, that they are synonyms. So synonymy is situation, whereas synonym are the words. So synonymy is the relation of semantic overlap when two words share core meaning. Absolute synonymy, perfect interchangeability in every context. Is extremely rare, so this is one of the type of synonymy. What we find in practice is near synonymy, shared denotation with differences in connotation, register, or collocational range. Let's scroll it a bit. Wait. Okay. The key diagnostic is the substitution test. If swapping the two words in any sentence produces awkwardness or change in meaning, they are near synonyms, not true synonyms. The near absence of perfect synonym is explained by economy principle, which is languages eliminate redundancy over time. So two words that mean exactly the same will differentiate or one will disappear. So this shows that we try to use the words that are similar to each other, but if you say the exact meaning they're giving the same, well, that's not possible. So, for example, English big, large, begin, start, die, pass away, buy, purchase, seek, ill, ask, request. They're nearly similar in meaning, but they don't have the exact meaning. If you choose them in or use them in different situations, so obviously meaning is going to change. So we have checked the English example. Let's look at the Urdu example, which is pani, and the other word that is used for it, which is in formal language, is ab. So pani is everyday, it is water in meaning, and informal ab is literally and elevated. Same denotation, different register. The classic Urdu synonym pattern: one Hindi origin word for daily life, one Persian Arabic origin word for formal or poetic use, like Ankh Chashm, which is eye, and then Hush Masroor, which is happy. So Hush is informal, Masroor is formal, like as Ankh is informal and Chashm is poetic. So absolute synonyms, near synonyms, cognitive synonyms, and polysynomy. Polysynomy, they are the types. We'll discuss them later in detail with you related to it. So next one is antonymy. So this is it. Oppositeness of meaning in opposition to each other. So word whose meaning stand in opposition, but opposition comes in multiple structurally distinct types. Let's scroll it a bit. So here, antonym is not a single relation, it is a family of three structurally different opposition types, each with its own logical properties and linguistic behavior. So the first type is gradable antonyms, that is, for example, hot, cold, exist on the scale. There are degrees between them, and both can be modified very hot or slightly cold. Negating one does not assert the other. Not hot does not mean cold. Second type is complementary antonyms, alive versus dead, or binary, no middle ground. If something is not alive, it must be dead. So negating one asserts the other. These are the either or pairs. So relational antonyms, that are example are teacher, student, husband, wife, boy, son, are converses. Each word implies and requires the other. You cannot have a teacher without a student. So these are the examples as we have mentioned above. So same. So Urdu example, Roshni Handera. Roshni means light and Handera means darkness. So a gradable antonym pair central to Urdu poetry, where Roshni symbolizes knowledge and hope, and Handera symbolizes ignorance and despair. The metaphorical extensions make this pair far richer than a simpler simple physical opposition. So another example of garam thanda, which is warm, cold, and then zinda murda, which is complementary, zinda alive and murda dead. So these are the types of it: gradable, complementary, relational, directional. Let's move on to hyponymy. It is inclusion. This is a relation. One word's meaning is entirely included in within the other one. The taxonomic backbone of the lexicon. So hyponymy, let's look at it. Hyponymy is one of the most organizing relations in the lexicon. It creates taxonomic hierarchies, the vertical chain of category membership that allows humans to think in terms of kind, types, and categories. So hyponymy is the most specific word. For example, Robin, the hyponymy or subordinate is the general word. It is bird. So hyponymy is Robin, whereas hypernym is bird. Like as rose is hyponymy, whereas hypernym or subordinate, which is the most general term, is flower. So every hyponym inherits all the semantic features of its hypernym. Hypernym, it is an umbrella term which consists of different branches covering everything under it, like hyponyms. So robin is a word which means it has all the properties of a bird plus it has its own specific one. Another one example type is co-hyponyms, or words at the same level of hierarchy sharing the same hyponyms. Robin, sparrow, eagle are the co-hyponyms of bird. This creates semantic fields set of words related through shared hyponymy. So it is like branching, like above it's flower, then down, robin, sparrow, all coming together. They're co-hyponyms, each having their different own features, but still belonging to the category of hyponym. The key diagnostic X is the kind of Y. If this sentence makes sense, then X is a hyponym of Y. So here is this, which is a clear example. Bird, robin is a bird, which is an animal, which is a living thing. So here is example. Rose, which is a flower. Flower is a plant, which is an organism. Whereas murder, it is killing, which is because of a cause and which causes to die. So let's look at the Urdu example. Well, same as the English language. Gulab, which is rose. Pool, which is flower. Poda, which is plant. A clear theory level hyponymy chain. So every level is more general. At each level, meaning is included within the level above. So this shows like flower, rose. It has meaning, but it is specifically to rose. Whereas flower, when you get above level, it has broader meaning, which are the other flowers included in. And when you go above that level, which is Boda plant, it has more meaning, more feature as compared to this one, as it is a general term. So share genre, here is lion, and its hyponymy is genre, which is animal. So these are the types. Let's go to the next, hyponymy, the subordinate general term. The flip side of hyponymy, the more general the word, it includes the meaning of specific words within it. So hyponymy is not a separate relation from hyponymy, it is the other direction of the same relation. While hyponymy looks upward, robin is a bird. Hypernymy looks downward. Bird includes robin, sparrow, eagle. So hypernymy are the more general inclusive terms. They are more useful for abstraction when you want to talk about the category without specifying its member. A hypernym covers all of its hyponymy. So language often have gaps in the hyponym vocabulary. Sometimes a subordinate term simply does not exist for a set of co-hyponyms. For example, English has furniture as a hyponym for table, chair, sofa, but there is no single hyponym for all cooking vessels: pot, pan, wok, casserole. These lexical gaps reveal something interesting about how culture categorize its world. So this shows that not always there exists a co-hyponym. There's such a situation where it can and where it can't. So let's look at the Urdu example rishtedar, which is relative or family member. Rishtedar is a hyponym covering all family relations, which is quite a lot in Urdu: chacha, mama, puppy, hala, etc. onward gain. But notice Urdu has highly specific hyponym for each type of relative: parental uncle, maternal uncle, paternal aunt, maternal aunt. 4 words where English has only uncle and aunt. So hyponymy system is richer than hyponym is shared. So this is the example: bird, hyponymy, subordinate of robin, eagle, penguin, sparrow. Whereas vehicle, subordinate of car, bus, train, bicycle. Then emotion, subordinate of joy, fear, anger, sadness. So these are the examples that you can use. Then the next one is mironymy, part of relation. One word denote a part of what the other words denote. Fundamentally different from hyponyms kind of relationship. So mironymy is the part-whole relation. Meronym names a part or component. The holonym names the whole. Well, these are the words. The terms are quite confusing, but when you get to understand them, it will be easy for you. A finger is a meronym of hand, not a type of hand, but a part of one. This distinction from hyponymy is crucial and frequently confused. The diagnostic test differs. Hyponymy uses X is a kind of Y. Meronymy uses X is a part of Y. So hyponymy tells you about different kinds of something, making branches, whereas meronymy presents something as part of something. Like a wheel is not a kind of car, it is part of one, so it is meronymy. Linguist D.A. Kurz identified 3 subtypes: component meronymy, handle is part of cup, member collection. These are the examples: tree is a member of forest, and portion mass. Slice is a portion of bread. Each has slightly different logical properties. Let's look at it clearly. Finger belong to hand, hand belong to arm belong to body. So component chain. Tree belong to forest and member collection. Slice obviously belong to something. Here it is. Bread is a portion mass. Chapter belong to book. Petal belong to flower. If it would have been here rose, then it would have been hyponymy. Then Urdu example, pankri. It is petals for here, and this is pool, which is flower. So pankri, which is petal, is a meronymy of flower. The petal is not a type of flower, it is component of one. Contrast with pool, gulab. This is the example that I was talking about earlier, mentioning here, which is hyponymy, same pair of level, completely different relationship. Like ungli, which is finger, belong to heart, which is hand, which belong to jism, which is body. So that's it. Then comes polysemy. One word, multiple related meanings. A single lexeme carries multiple senses that are historically and conceptually connected. So let's look at it. Okay. Polysemy is the relation between a word and its multiple meanings. Unlike homonymy, polysemous meanings share a common semantic history. They evolve from the same source through a metaphorical extension, specification, generalization, and other semantic processes. So the English word run is the classic example. Over 600 senses documented in the OED, which is Oxford English Dictionary. All traceable back to a core idea of movement or flow. Run a race, these are example. Physical movement, run a company, keep moving or managing. Run a tab, which is flow. Run in stocking, unravel thread. Let's scroll it a bit. The key diagnostic is that a traceable semantic connection between the senses. If yes, polysemy. If not, then homonymy. The word crane, the bird, and the crane, the machine, share the same visual connection. The machine was named after the bird's long neck, making this polysemy. The word bank, financial, the bank river share no connection. So the bank, they both homonymy. Whereas crane and crane, they are polysemy as they share a relation in meaning. So there's a head, body post, head of company, riverhead. So they're polysemy, then run, again discuss, then bright, luminous, intelligent, and vivid. So they are polysemy. For example, Ankh. The Ankh is polysemous in Urdu core, meaning the physical organ of sight. Extended meaning, Ankh lagna, to fall asleep, literally eye attaching. Then Ankh marna, to wink. Ankh rakna, to have hope, expectation. These are the English meanings of these words. All senses connected to the core eye concept through metaphor and idiom. So this shows that if two words are related in meaning, share common meaning, common ancestry, then they are polysemous, otherwise they are homonym. And here we have homonyms. Same form, unrelated meanings. Two or more lexemes happen to share the same spoken or written form, but their meanings are historically unrelated. Where in polysemy they're related, but here they are not. So homonymy is coincident, not connection, two separate words with separate etymologies and unrelated meaning. Happens to end up looking or sounding identical. This is historical accident, not a semantic relationship. So this is very important to know. So linguists distinguish homonyms, same sound, different spelling and meaning. Flower, flower. Homographs, same spelling, different sounds and meaning. Lead the metal and lead the verb. Led here, this is led. Led the metal, and here led is the verb. In one place it's noun, and another place it is verb. So the perfect homonym, the same sound and spelling, different meaning. Bank, the institution where the bank, the riverside. So homophones, this is very important to know. Homophones, same sound, different spelling and meaning. Whereas homonyms, same sound and spelling. Bank. So you can use tricks if you find it difficult. Nimi, which is name. So name is going to be same, whereas for this homophone, sound is going to be same, but name spellings are going to be different. You can use this as a trick to remember, because it is mostly confused. Oh, scrolled a lot. So context almost always resolve homonymy in real communication, but homonymy is a source of puns, wordplay, and linguistic ambiguity. And understanding the distinction between homonymy and polysemy is one of the most tested concepts in lexical semantics. Bank money is not the same as bank river. Perfect homonymy. Flower and flower are homophones. Lead, metal, and lead guide are homographs. Bat, animal and bat for cricket, perfect homonyms. These are the examples. Then Urdu example con, which is ear, or mine, which is excavation site. Con meaning ear, body part for hearing, and con meaning mine, underground excavation for minerals, are historically unrelated. Same spelling, same pronunciation, but completely different meaning with no conceptual connection. Context resolve, which is meant. Classic homonyms. Par, it is a preposition to like own something or upon, then feather, wing, but. Par is notably polysemous, homonymous, multiple meanings requiring careful contextual analysis. Holonymy. The whole in meronymy. The flip side of meronymy, the word that names the whole of which another word names a part. So where meronymy used to represent like part of something, this is naming part. Just as hyponymy is the upward direction of hyponymy, holonymy is the upward direction of meronymy. A holonymy names the whole entity, a meronymy names one of its parts. Less like eating up your own brain, every relationship. They sound too much identical, which makes it even more confusing. While by discussing it, you can easily understand it if you keep on focus and taking your notes of it. Hand is the holonymy with respect to finger. If we look at finger, it is meronymy of hand. But if we're going to talk about hand, hand is the holonymy having finger. So that's how the relationship is not clear. Hand is the whole of which finger is a part. Car is the holonymy with respect to wheel, engine, door. Book is the holonymy with respect to chapter, page, and paragraph. So holonymy and meronymy distinction is important in formal ontologies, database design, and NLP systems that need to represent part-whole structure. It is also central to how humans understand physical objects. We decompose them into parts, and each part has its own holonymy at multiple levels. So let's look at examples. Hand, holonymy of finger, palm, thumb, wrist. In meronymy, the arrow direction was on this side, left side, but in holonymy it is on right side. So forest, a holonymy of tree, the sentence holonymy of words, clauses, and phrases. Let's look at Urdu example. Daraht, tree. Daraht is the holonymy of jad, which is root, tana, which is trunk, and shah, which is branch, patta, which is leaf, phool, which is flower, pal, which is fruit. Wow, quite a lot of branching. All of these are meronymy of daraht, part of the whole tree. The holonymy organizes them into one conceptual unit. So this is how the trick plays. Then incompatibility, multiple exclusion among co-hyponyms. Words at the same level of taxonomy cannot be simultaneously true of the same entity. So let's look at it. Incompatibility is the relation that holds between co-hyponyms of the same subordinates. If two words are both hyponyms of the same hyponym, they are typically mutually exclusive. Applying one to an entire entity rules out applying the other. So these are the example. Red, green, blue, yellow are all hyponym of color. They are co-hyponyms and they are incompatible. If something is red, it is not simultaneously green or blue in a given area. Applying red to an object is incompatible with applying green. This relation underpins the logic of multiple of category membership. It is related to complementary antonym, alive, dead, but differs in being a set of relation rather than binary opposition. Incompatibility involves a set of mutually exclusive alternatives, not just two opposites. Well, that may be new for many of you. So let's check it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, incompatible days. Red, green, blue, yellow, incompatible colors. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, incompatible season. Urdu example: Shah, Surah, Neela, Sabaz. All three are hyponyms of rang, which is color. These are co-hyponym and therefore incompatible. If something is red, it cannot be simultaneously blue or green. The incompatibility relation hold across the entire set of color terms in Urdu. Well, the incompatibility in simple words is if something is one thing at a time, it cannot be another. Let's try it. Like if you're talking about Monday, Monday cannot be Tuesday. Today cannot be tomorrow. Future cannot be present. So this shows that how terms are incompatible, or words or terms, whatever you like to choose. Then semantic fields. Semantic fields are cluster of related words, a group of words that together covers a conceptual domain, each getting its meaning partially through its contrast with the other words in the field. So let's look at it. A semantic field, also called a lexical field, is a set of words whose meanings are closely related and which together partition a conceptual domain. The theory associated with Jost Trier, given in 1931, holds that words in the field acquire their meaning through their mutual contrast. Each word covers a portion of the field, and together they tile the domain. The field of color terms include red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and together they cover the visible spectrum. Change one word's boundary, another must adjust. If you have no word for orange, red, and yellow, which would each cover more territory. Different languages divide semantic field differently, and those differences reveal cultural and perceptual priorities. The classic example: Russian has two basic color terms for blue, синий, dark blue, голубой, light blue. English has only one term, blue is only for English. Russian speakers can therefore discriminate shades of blue faster than English speakers. So the other example of semantic field, like in kinship, father, mother, sister, brother, uncle, aunt. And the example of field which is motion, which is walk, run, jog, sprint, stroll, march, saunter. Then emotion field is joy, happiness, elation, delight, ecstasy. And then semantic Urdu field, rishtadari, which is kinship field. It is far more granular than English. Like English has only uncle and aunt terms, but Urdu has chacha, which is father's brother, mamu, which is mother's brother, pupa, father's sister, husband, halu, mother's sister and husband, and their female equivalents. The field is the same, the divisions are finer. So the other emotion fields, which is muhabbat, gussa, khauf, gam, khushi. Then Another lexical relation, collocation. Collocation, habitual word partnership. Words that habitually and statistically co-occur with each other, not because of grammar rules but by convention and usage. The collocation is a syntagmatic lexical relation. It holds between words that appear together in sequence, not because words that could replace each other. This makes it technically different from the paradigmatic relations above, but it is inseparable from lexical meanings and belongs in a complete account of lexical relation. So the term was introduced by J.R. Firth in 1957. You shall know a word by a company it keeps. So some word partnerships are fixed by grammar, collocations are fixed by convention and usage habit. Rancid collocates with butter and bacon, but not with luck. Commit collocates with crime, murder, suicide, but not with kindness and beauty. So this shows that some words appear with only certain words. They cannot appear with any other word. So collocation ranges from fully fixed idiom, which are kick the bucket, to semi-fixed, which are run out of, to statistically preferred soft collocation. Make a decision, not do a decision. Understanding collocation is essential for naturally sounding language production or acquisition. Make a decision, not do a decision. Commit a crime, rancid butter, heavy rain, not strong rain. Force asleep, not quick asleep. Another example is blinding headache, naked stark naked, crystal clear. So let's look at Urdu example, dil lagana. To apply one's heart to work or study. Urdu dil collocates with many expressions like a dil lagana, engage wholeheartedly, dil tootna, heartbreak, dil jeetna, win hearts, dil dena, to fall in love, give one's heart. These are not compositional. The meaning is not simply heart plus verb. They are conventional collocations. So let's look at another example, troponymy. Hyponymy for words, manner, inclusion. A verb-specific inclusion relation. One verb denotes a specific manner or way of doing what a more general verb denotes. So let's look at it. Hyponymy. Troponymy is a relation introduced in WordNet in 1990 to capture the verb equivalent of hyponymy. For nouns, hyponymy is straightforward. Robin is a word. For verbs, the relation works differently. To march is a specific manner of to walk, but we cannot say marching is a walking. Instead, we say to march is to walk in a particular way. So this manner inclusion relation axis the troponym of y is to access to y in a particular manner, organizes the verb lexicon into hierarchies. To sprint is to run in a particular way. To whisper is to speak in a particular way. To devour is to eat in a particular way. So troponymy explains why the verb lexicon is so large. Languages multiply specific manner verbs because human activities are performed in many distinguishable ways, and those distinctions are worth encoding. So march is specific type of walking in a particular manner. Sprint is running. Whisper is specific type of speaking. Not all speaking is whispering, so it is a type. Devour is certain type of eating. Stammer is certain type of speaking. Saunter is specific type of walk. Sob is certain type of prayer. Let's look at Urdu example. Urdu is chalna, march karna. March karna is a troponymy of chalna. To march is to walk in a specific manner. So these are the examples similar to English ones. Let's move forward. Identify the relation. So we're going to identify some of these as lectures become too much longer. We have to conclude it too. Let's look at big, large synonym as we have discussed. You can then hot, cold. Antonyms. Yes, obviously, complementary. They're gradable, then others are complementary. This is gradable. Another one is relational. Rose, flower. Hyponymy. Then finger, hand. Mironymy, because finger belong to hand. Then bank, river. Polysemy. The sense evolve the same etymological source to traceable semantic connection. So if it's polysemy, if yes polysemy, if no, then hyponym. Homonym. Then bat, homonymy. Animal cover all the creature. Hyponymy, obviously. You can pause and read from here. Then books has chapter. Holonymy. Red, blue, green incompatibility. Then kinship cluster. Semantic fields. Make a decision collocation. Sprint run troponymy. Specific type to be associated with verb. Teacher student. Antonymy, it is relational. Then pony up, some of the example including synonymy. Then pankri pool, mironymy. Gone, ear, mine. Homonymy. Whisper, speak. You can use them as an example to test your students too, or use them for understanding too. Troponymy. Then rancid, butter, collocation. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, obviously incompatibility. Same as red, blue, green. Then onc plus idiom polysemy. Let's move forward. Paradigmatic versus syntagmatic. We were discussing this a lot, so let's look at it, have just an eye to understand it. All lexical relations fall on one or two axes introduced by Ferdinand de Saussure. Most of the 12 relations above are paradigmatic. Collocation is syntagmatic. Understanding is distinction is essential in linguistics, so let's look at it. Paradigmatic, vertical words that could replace each other, so it's easier to understand. Whereas syntagmatic is horizontal, words that combine together. So relational 1 to 5 and 7 12 except collocation or paradigmatic. They hold between words that can substitute for each other in a given syntactic slot. These are the choices you make when selecting a word. The dog ran quickly. Well, you can change it. Its alternatives are puppy, wolf, or cat. Run quickly. This shows something changing in vertical, like this position. Or the dog ate quickly. The dog slept quickly. So this arrow is showing you vertical changing. Then syntagmatic collocation, relational element is syntagmatic. It describes which words habitually appear alongside each other in a sequence. They are not choices of the same plot, they are conventional. While changing in syntagmatic relations changes the meaning. She made a decision. So if you change here, if you do a decision, it is wrong, it breaks the collocation. So same meaning, but the partnership is wrong, that is syntagmatic knowledge. So I hope you understand it. Paradigmatic change vertically. Syntagmatic, it is combination horizontal line. You can use that for trick. Or you can use short way to understand is syntagmatic, same. use S for this, like same line. So this is from course the linguistic general of foreigners is short, and from 5th 1957 work synopsis of linguistic theory. The lexicon is not a warehouse of isolated items. It is a structured system, a web of sense relations that gives each word its value by contrast with and connection to every other word in a language. So our lexicon is not isolated, it is structured, it is web of relations, it is all connected to each other. So knowledge check. A petal is part of a flower. Which relation is this and how does it differ from rose is a kind of flower? A petal is part of a flower. Well, both are hyponymy. Petal flower is mironymy. Both are mironymy. Well, that's correct. It is mironymy petal flower. Mironymy part of rose to flower is hyponymy. Let's look at the other one. Bank, financial, and institutions share the same form but have unrelated meaning. What relation is this and what would make it polysemy instead? Polysemy, any word with two meaning, it polysemous. Homonymy, synonyms and antonyms are also the question. Then the meanings are historically unrelated. It would be polysemous if two words are connected, traceable. So no, that's wrong. So the correct one is the crucial is homonymy, same form, historically unrelated meaning. Polysemy, same form, historically related meaning. So for bank, it comes from Italian banca, money, landlord's table or bench. The river bank comes from Old Norse banki, unrelated homonym. So the second option is correct. Now let's move on to sprint is to run in a particular manner. What lexical relation is this and which linguist and system introduced the term? Well, this is it. It is the option with the one who introduced this, so obviously it's correct. Troponymy is verb-specific manner inclusion. Introduced in WordNet by George Miller and his colleague. Then let's move on to this, which is in Urdu. Mamu, maternal and chacha are co-hyponym or rishtadar. Which additional relation hold between them and what does it tell about something? Well, synonym. Well, they're not same. One part of another. No, they're the incompatibility. Yes, this is incompatibility. Co-hyponyms of the same subordinate are incompatible. Mamu, Chacha are both hyponyms of rishtadar. So let's look at the fifth one, which is make a decision sounds natural but do a decision sounds wrong, even though both can make the same idea. So synonyms, well, not. Antonyms, no. Hyponym, make a decision is kind of making. Well, collocation. In collocation, we decided that there's words come with specific words and they break convention if they're used with other words. So, as Fred says, you shall know a word by the company it keeps. So let's move on to the sixth one. Jost Trier argued that a word's meaning is defined by its relationship to other words in the same domain. Which lexical relation does this describe? Mironymy. Word's meaning is defined by its relationship to other words in the same. Well, semantic theory. Yes, it is correct. Semantic theory. a group of words that together cover a conceptual domain. Let's look at the last one. Most lexical relations are paradigmatic. One major relation in this episode is syntagmatic. I've decided, and the answer is hail. Well, when I was preparing you, I must make sure that it's easy to understand, as we're not actually challenging someone to answer all of them correctly. So this is collocation is correct one. So that's it for today. I hope you understand it and like the video. As I'm mentioning again, please do like, subscribe and share, and do comment too. That's very important. Your comments matter. It encourages us to do more. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.